Hello, my love, and welcome to the Energy Expansion Podcast. I am your host, Dani Kenny, and if you're new here, we are so happy to have you. And if you're one of our loyal listeners, we are so happy to have you back. I'm really excited, as always, and today's episode feels extra special because what I'm going to be sharing with you is the final video of our 39 live video challenge. Fam, we did it. We did it. And before I dive in, before I share this with you, I want to give you a little behind the scenes look at how this whole thing shook out. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, I was going to say if you don't remember, but I don't know if I shared this part with you. This whole thing kind of sort of started on a whim, which, if you know me, is not actually that surprising. I get an idea, I get very excited, and I run with it. And then I kind of figure out the plan and the strategy from there. And if I'm being completely honest, most of the time, most of the most magical things that have ever happened in my life, it works out like that. And it works out so beautifully, more beautifully than I ever could have imagined or planned for anyway, which is why I follow the whim, I follow the intuitive nudge. And I vividly remember grabbing my journal and writing down some thoughts and things that I was feeling inspired by. And one of the things that I wrote down was that I was feeling the nudge to do a live video challenge, which admittedly I do almost every year, and it always lands around spring. And as I was journaling that evening, what I realized was my 39th birthday was just a little more than a month out. And so I thought to myself, I actually can visualize it in my mind's eye right now, writing down 39 videos to my 39th birthday, ? And then putting a big heart around it. I think the heart was my way of being like, yes, that sounds like fun. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. And so again, the way that I do things is I didn't really plan anything out. I didn't look at a calendar. I just went live the very next day and announced that I was going to be doing these 39 videos leading up to my 39th birthday, which happened to be April 5th. And what I forgot to account for was the calendar math. So the thing I need you to know about this is I have a little bit of a personal promise. I didn't always have this in place. It was a couple of years into my business when I decided that weekends are for family. And what I mean by that is most weekends, I literally do not even set foot in my office. I don't open my office door. And of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but that's kind of the gist of it, and it has been for years. And so what I realized was that birthday deadline wasn't really going to happen, and that was okay. I was at complete peace with that, and I think it was just in the first few handfuls of our live videos when I shared that with our people was like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're doing the 39 videos, but it's going to move beyond my birthday. We're just going to rock with it. When we get to 39, we get to 39. And so I actually, in preparing for this podcast episode to share this with you, I did a little bit of math. I looked at when we did our very first video, which was February 23rd, to when we did our last video, which was May 19th, and then looked at, okay, if we take out the Saturdays and the Sundays and we really focus on the weekdays, it ended up being 60 weekdays. So over the span of 60 weekdays, we did our 39 videos, which averaged to about 3 videos a week. And I'm honestly really happy with that. There were some weeks where we did even more than that. And the results, in my opinion, were pretty darn good. I just went through and looked at the 2 different platforms. What I mean by that was each of these live videos originated on Instagram. I actually hit go live on Instagram, said whatever I wanted to say that day. And then as soon as the live was done, I downloaded that video to my phone and then repurposed it to Facebook, right? This is one of the many ways that I like to practice working smarter and not harder. If I create content for a specific platform, I'll be strategic and making sure that I can share it and use that content in as many ways as possible. And so there were times, as you saw, if you've been here before, I think we ended up repurposing maybe 4 or 5 of them here on the podcast. And so that was another way that I was able to leverage this content, these messages, and work smarter, not harder. But what I realized was we came just shy of 20,000 views it was like 19,629 views to be exact. I'm pretty sure if I remember the calculations. That's how many views our videos had, our 39 videos across the two platforms where I was sharing them. And the other thing I want you to know is take that with a grain of salt. Numbers matter, and they also don't matter. They don't carry a whole lot of weight. There's things known as vanity metrics. Someone could click on a live video that was 15 minutes and have only watched 3 seconds of it, and that counted in the nearly 20,000 views. And so I don't give it too much weight, but I do think that that's pretty freaking cool. The other thing is, I notice that our bottom line as a company, Dani Kenny Coaching, each month since starting the lives, our revenue increased so much so that we're closing out May as our highest revenue month of the year. And this happens every single time. Every single time I challenge myself to being more consistent in whatever way that looks like. Sometimes it's in my business. Sometimes it's around my health. Sometimes it's a new habit or a practice around energetics or mindset that I implement. The more consistent we are, the better results we're going to get every single time. And because this was directly related to my business and it had to do with content and it had to do with visibility, the bottom line was directly impacted. And so with that said, before we dive in, I want to strongly encourage you to consider, is there some sort of a fun challenge that you're feeling called to take on for yourself? It might be something very similar to mine around visibility and showing up and sharing your message, something directly related to your business, your mission, your calling. It might be something completely different, but where are you craving more consistency? Where are you craving better results? As soon as you're done listening to this episode, I want you to DM me and let me know. I want to see you in that. I want to hold the vision of what you're creating and what you're desiring and support you however I can. And this feels like a really fun reminder to let you know that because I love experiences like this for myself and these types of shorter, accelerated personal challenges work really well for me, I know that my people also love them, which is why I created Momentum, the 4-week experience, where every day, it was intended to be done Monday through Friday. So for 5 days in a row, every week for 4 weeks, it ends up being 28 different wisdom drops, different lessons, things that are going to support you in getting better results in the areas of life that matter most to you, a comprehensive workbook to help you set your goals and clarify what it is that you actually want so that you know what you're focused on for those 4 weeks. That's why I created this. And we're doing something really fun with Momentum this year where you can snag lifetime access to Momentum. It's designed as a self-paced experience. You'll get daily email drops. You get lifetime access to our student portal. So you can access it from your email. You can access it from the free app that we have that you can download to any of your devices and start seeing those results and quite literally creating momentum in the areas of life that matter most to you. So you can check that out in the show notes below. Just a fun little invitation there. I personally come back to the Momentum content anytime I'm needing a little bit of a boost. And I know that the hundreds of women who have gifted themselves this course before do that same thing. So before we dive in, little quick note here. The episode, which is our 39th video of our 39 video challenge, is pure gold. There are so many nuggets of wisdom. When I was thinking about how I wanted to share this with you, I was literally picturing a charcuterie board of so much life-changing goodness. That's what I have in store for you. And I also want to be really upfront. The audio quality of this is not terrible, but it's not the best. And I just say that because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, a little bit of a stickler when it comes to the audio quality of our podcast. I personally get really annoyed if I'm trying to receive content, whether it's audio content or video content, and if the quality is not good, it's hard for me to focus. So I am 99% sure that you're going to be able to listen to this with no problem, but I just wanted to put that out there because I was recording this content from my phone while I was sitting in our newly renovated pool, which is so dreamy. I was using my wired headphones, which translated really beautifully on the original video, but in turning it into a podcast, that crisp and clear audio did not fully translate. So there's little moments of background noise that I noticed. You might not notice that, but hi, it's me, the perfectionist. We'll have her sit down. I promise you can hear the whole message loud and clear. It's going to be so worth it. So, with that said, let's get into it. Hello, my love. This video today, being with you right here, right now, feels like a really big deal because this is video number 39 of our 39 video challenge. We did it. And just because we're at the completion of this does not mean that I am not going to be going live or creating content. In fact, this was me like really getting my reps back in. I think that's so important. When it comes to social media, when it comes to building a business, I once heard someone say that showing up is hard, not showing up is even harder. If you know, you know. If you are building a brand, if you are doing anything meaningful out in the world that requires codes of courage and visibility and consistency, you know what I mean. There is a very natural, healthy resistance that comes up when we're doing something meaningful. One of my favorite books of all time, it was required reading for a coaching program that I had a couple of years ago called the Freedom Accelerator, but it's called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And it sounds dramatic. It's not really. It's actually quite fun and cheeky. And the entire book is about all of the ways that fear dresses up in different ways to try to stop us from doing what we're here to do. So that's a little bit behind the meaning of showing up is hard. Yeah, you're going to feel that resistance. And this is part of what I want to talk to you about today. There might be flavors of doubt, second guessing, imposter syndrome, the who am I, comparison, negotiating with yourself, all of those things that can pop up. But it is our responsibility in this lifetime, especially those of us like myself, like many of you, I think every single one of you who are here, committed to doing the work that God has hired you to do. The work that you are put on this planet to do, my friend, is going to require that you face yourself, that you face those stories, that you face those limiting beliefs and move through them, right? And so showing up can be hard. We just talked about why. Not showing up is even harder because when you are a heart-centered, soul-led leader, not showing up literally feels like death for your soul. That is where our souls go to die. When we are not doing the things that we know we are divinely called to do, created to do on this planet to do. Are you with me? Showing up doesn't have to be. It's not always. Showing up can be hard. Not showing up is even harder. And I've been doing this whole online business thing, full-time coach, personal development, both on my own healing journey, for probably close to 20 years, but doing it full-time within my own business for 13 years. This September will be 13 years. And even after over a decade, I get to meet myself in this. I get to revisit these things. And so every once in a while, I'll challenge myself to getting the reps in, to showing up, all of the things. That's a big part of what this was all about. The other reason why we started this journey, the 39 live videos, was inspired by my 39th birthday, which has since come and gone. But part of what I shared, I think the very first video, I talk about this, a truth that your face carries favor. A friend of mine once said that to me, and I take that even further. Your face and your voice carries favor. The vibration, the tonality of your voice is it's like a thumbprint. There is no one else who has the vibration of your voice and sharing things in the way that literally only you can. So your face and your voice carries favor. There is blessings that are meant to find you when you have the courage to share your face and your voice. And I have been saying this for a very long time. I have been using the method of video. I remember, good grief, probably 10 years ago when Facebook Live was a thing. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember where I was, like sitting in my car. I can picture what I was wearing. And I was like, oh my gosh, hey guys, there's this thing. Not making fun of my old, how would I, like mid 20-year-old self, but like, this thing's called Facebook Live. Hi, who's here? How does this work? Da, 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 da. I freaking knew that that was going to be a really big deal. How did I know? I was literally at the time, I was going through a paid coaching program. I paid a lot of money. I paid more money for that coaching program than I had made the entire year in my business the previous year. Like, it logically made no sense for me to be in that program, but everything in me knew that that was what was going to help propel me. And here's the interesting thing. The entire program was all about learning how to use speaking strategically and in a compelling way to build your business. And so this isn't just me here saying like, oh, it's important for you to share your faith and your voice. And I didn't create Magnetic Speaker, the program, and the 10-day go live visibility challenge because I think this stuff is cute. I built it because the method, the vehicle of knowing how to speak strategically is something that I have personally invested tens of thousands of dollars in learning, mastering, refining, using, and it works. It's generated me close to $2 million in my business single-handedly. Most of that I did it as a solopreneur. That's what single-handedly means as an entrepreneur. And in this case now, I have a very lean team. I have a project management team that helps me like the back end of my business. And so this stuff is a really big deal. And that's what started this journey. Like, that was what we talked about on day one of our 39 live video challenge. And here we are. And one of the things that I wanted to weave in today, this like Jesus really took the wheel here because everything I just shared wasn't necessarily part of what I wanted to say, but it felt like it needed to come through. Someone is meant to hear this. Say hello if you're here live. If you're catching the replay, #replay. But I wanted to talk about some of the results that my clients have been experiencing recently, specifically the women who have said yes to our DKC Breakthrough Days, which is literally an entire day that we spend together. It ends up being like 7 to 8 hours of coaching in one single day to open up that time and space together. We do a 90-minute strategic and energetic prep session a day or two before. And then there's 2 weeks of unlimited voice and text support. It ends up being anywhere from like 10 to 12 hours of coaching in 2 weeks. That is equivalent to what my clients would get in a 6-month coaching package. And so I don't know if you're anything like me, but if I know that I'm ready for change, if I know that I'm like ready for something different, I don't want to wait 6 months. I don't want to wait 12 months. If there is a way for me to go as deep as possible, as fast as possible, and experience and receive what I need to get to where I want to go, to step into this new identity, hi, sign me all the way up for that. Like 2 hands up for that. That's how I want to do it. And I'm so excited that I'm surrounded by so many women like that. I've done 7 DKC Breakthrough Days 2026 alone. I have 2 more already booked, one happening next week, one happening in 2 weeks. She just paid for it last night and we're already on the calendar. And then 2 women I'm in talks with. And so this has me feeling so elated because what I just described about my desire, my hunger, my ambition for change, for growth, for results, I am being met by women who match that, which I absolutely love. And every client I've worked with so far, our breakthrough day has been completely different. Like, if you're really looking at the details, what we're working on and the conversations are super different, and like what is being healed is different. All right, love, real quick pause because I have to tell you about something that is truly life-changing. If you've been in my world for any amount of time, then there is a 99.9% chance that you have heard me talk about Energy Expansion Academy, which is my signature group coaching program where I teach the exact tools, rituals, mindset shifts that helped me create a life that goes beyond my wildest dreams and has transformed the lives of hundreds of women that I've had the honor of serving. And for the first time ever, it is now available as a self-paced experience. that means you get to move through this powerful transformation on your own terms, in your own timing, and in full alignment with your life. This is for the woman who's ready to shift her energy, elevate her mindset, and finally become the most confident, fulfilled, and successful version of herself, without the hustle, without the overwhelm, and without the second guessing. If you've been feeling the nudge to join us inside of EEA, then this, my love, is your sign. You'll find the link in the show notes or just DM me EEA on Instagram and I'll personally send it your way. Now, let's get back to the episode that you came for. But I was able to identify, I was thinking about this morning, this common thread between all of them. And this feels like a really big deal. And this common thread, this ties back in this conversation around showing up can be hard, but not showing up is even harder. What has us not show up? What has us not show up is that inner voice. It's the voice of fear. It is our ego, EGO, an acronym for edging God out, edging out the truth of who we are and what is for us. A voice that is there to protect us, but it is really not in our best interest to be listening to it, right? So fear, ego, that again, the pattern of negotiating with yourself where you know what you want, you know what you need to do, but then there's that pause, that hesitation, that inner wobble and waffling. I know that really well. I mean, if you've been following my journey of am I going to cut my hair tomorrow or not? Like I am in this like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm negotiating with myself and that's okay. Hi, I'm human. You're human. But what I have found is these breakthrough experiences, not that the hair doesn't matter, but like the hair really doesn't matter compared to what my clients are navigating and the risks they're wanting to take and the moves they're being called to divinely make. And so my favorite thing, and that's hard to say my favorite thing because there are so many amazing things, but my favorite result has been that inner voice that creates the pause, not the sacred pause, not the divine, like, hold on, I've got something better for you, but the pause that's created by negotiating with self, talking yourself out of what you know is actually best for you. Ego, shrinking, imposter syndrome, the not enoughness, the old wounding, the like, what if I get it wrong? What if I mess it up? The whole like, what if, right? That like whole trail we can spiral down that is really not helpful. Every single one of my clients who have gone through a DKC Breakthrough Day, that thing disappears. That is literally life-changing. Like the moves that these women are making, here's the thing. They're making the move and they probably would have anyway. It might have taken a little longer, it might have looked a little different, not as powerful, but so many of them have shared with me, Dani, I made the investment. I said yes. I took the leap. I had the conversation. And the best part is that old voice that would have tried to stop me 99 out of 100 times in the past wasn't there. It wasn't there anymore. One of my clients, she's built multiple successful businesses and she launched a brand of creating sacred spaces. And she did this a year ago. And this year, there's been so many roadblocks. We both agree that a lot of them have been energetic. And just last week, she hosted her first in-person sacred circle. There was the attempt to launch and things just were not happening before. There were like all kinds of weird things that would happen. So her very first one that she did just last week, not only did it completely sell out, it sold out very, very quickly. And a few days before the event, she had 2 people basically begging her to make spots for them. Can you imagine your first time doing something? In this case, it was an in-person sacred circle, selling out quickly and having people being like, please, please, please let me in. I need to be there. Like that is a freaking miracle. Another client of mine made a big and kind of expensive oopsie, and the past version of her would have had a field day. Her inner critic would have gotten so loud and said every nasty thing and called her every name in the book. And instead, she just shifted and she fixed it. Like that. No drama, no mental, emotional, energetic drama. And this is really at the heart of everything I do. Energy and mindset mastery. When you understand these dynamics of your life, of your business, of whatever aspect of your life you're working on and matters most to you right now, when you understand these dynamics, everything else is so much easier. You get what you want like that. It is the secret to conscious reality creation, really truly creating what it is that you desire. And so this second client, it was really funny. If you have kids around, turn this off for a second. I'm going to use language that I don't normally use, but I got to say it in a specific way. But she said there have been multiple moments like the whoopsie, or moments that require a great deal of courage or faith and belief in herself, where the past version of herself would have thought, oh shit, what have I done? I can't believe this. I don't know if I can do that. This is too big. I don't know if I can handle that. Like all of the things. And now what used to be, oh shit, is, it's cool. Let's shift. Oh shit to no biggie. Let's shift. I've got this. I know who I am. I know what I do. I know that I can handle this. I know that there is nothing too big or too much for me. I love this whole conversation. That was really the heart of what I wanted to share with you today on our last video. We're complete 39 live video challenge. And I wanted to bring you into the bigness of what's possible for you. That the part of you that is constantly trying to talk you out of your dreams, trying to convince you that you're not enough, that you are too much. Who am I to do this? What are people going to think? I'm going to mess it up. That part of you does not have to be in the driver's seat anymore. And if that's something that you're craving support with, a DKC Breakthrough Day might be a really great fit for you. Energy Expansion Academy might be a really great fit for you. One of my other one-on-one client packages might be a really great fit for you. Momentum. It's a two-figure investment. It's $88. You get lifetime access. When you're part of the DKC Soul Fam, you get to come to our free VIP bonus events. We did one last week and it was phenomenal. We're going to do another one in 2 or 3 weeks. You get to come to those things for free. It's an investment that keeps giving back again and again and again. And so if you can relate to any of this, know that this doesn't have to be your reality. There's a new way for you to move forward, and reach out to me, DM me. Let me know. And what I'll do is, like, you don't have to know what's going to be the best fit for you or the right path forward. That's what I'm here to help you with. So we can DM about this. I'm happy to send you, it's called a coaching alignment link. It's 20 minutes. You can tell me a little bit about yourself, what your goals are, and then I can help create a path forward for you that is going to be the best, most aligned option. I love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you again so soon. Mwah. All right, fam, that's a wrap. That's a wrap on today's episode, as well as our 39 video challenge. I had a lot of fun bringing you along for this journey. I hope you enjoyed going on this journey with me. Whether you listened to some of our other episodes, whether you were tuning in on Instagram or Facebook, or if this was your first time receiving any of this, I really truly hope that you enjoyed it and that it made a difference for you. And I want you to notice how we created a goal and we changed the plan along the way. And we saw the goal through to the very end, all the way through the finish line. And I'm really, really proud of that. And so this is permission for you of hold on to the goal, hold on to the desire, the thing you want the most. And if you have to pivot and tweak and create pathways for more alignment along the way, that is absolutely perfect. And as always, if today's episode stirred something up inside of you, I want to hear about it. You know this. Send me a DM. Let's have a conversation about it. And again, if you're feeling called to your own personal challenge, it might be something similar to me inside of your business around visibility. It might be something else as well. This is a loving reminder that momentum, the self-paced 4-week experience, is available to you right now for one payment of $88. You get lifetime access to everything included, and I know for a fact you will absolutely love this experience, and it will be really supportive for you on your journey moving forward in creating whatever it is that you desire most. You can find the link to that in the show notes below. You can also DM me the word momentum, and I'll get that over to you. And we'll see you again on the next one.